Welcome to our online Trinity Church e-learning centre. Today we're going to talk about walking and doing ministry. Let's get outdoors right now. What a day for a walk and more with John Wesley. The air's crisp and clear, the sun streaming and the sea incandescent with a million white gold reflections. Most people love to get out and about on a day like today. I live in Auckland, New Zealand. We are blessed with numerous fine beaches. Tamaki Makoro is its Maori place name. This means Tamaki of 1,000 lovers. Today's city is nested between two great harbours, and there are numerous volcanic cones to test your resolve. You can walk some beaches and cones and cross the city in a day quite easily. If you belong to the people called Methodist, walking like this is in your DNA. The founder of the Methodist Church, John Wesley, was an inveterate traveller and walker. His journals reveal how much he loved walking all his very long life. When he was 85 years old, it was nothing to him to walk 5 or 6 miles. He wrote that he was ashamed that some Methodist preachers weren't up to it. When he was a young man, he wrote in a letter to his father, dated 11 June 1731, quote, "We've made another discovery too, which may be of some service, that it is easy to read as we walk 10 or 12 miles, unquote. The next time you may be tempted to criticize a young person walking and texting, stop, think about it. One of the world's most famous church leaders of all time walked along roads and lanes reading. And he did the same when he was riding. Texting while driving a car is irresponsible, to say the least, but John Wesley reading while riding to his next destination is legendary. When he was much older, he travelled by carriage or coach. This was so that his books could be readily at hand, and pen and paper also. His friends bought him the specially fitted out coach because he had sustained a number of serious injuries. The journals convey the sense of risk and adventure on his mission. He was fit and energetic and used to hard roads in all weathers. He survived blizzards and storms while others perished, caught in the same foul weather. Great stories told by John Telford in an out-of-print book, The Life of John Wesley. This is the and more part of our movie's title, What a Day for a Walk and More with John Wesley. Wesley had arranged to preach at St. Ives at a certain time. He was coming from Hale. The coach had to cross the sands, but there was an incoming tide. Others said not to cross. They knew full well how quickly the tides rose. But Wesley had made his plans and told the coach driver to go ahead. Soon enough, the horses had to start swimming. The coach driver feared they were about to drown. Wesley stuck his head out the coach window and shouted to the driver, "What's your name?" "Peter." Wesley shouted back, "Fear not, Peter, thou shalt not sink." And they didn't. Very biblical indeed. Wesley made sure that when they got to St. Ives, that the driver was properly looked after. Telford records that it was in fact the coach driver who told the story. The journals reveal a life filled with grit and determination second to none. 250,000 miles or so meant much solitude. That's what gave him the opportunity to do a lot of reading. And whether walking, riding, or sitting in his carriage, Wesley read and wrote with a passion. Every destination was carefully planned months ahead. He was meticulous about following through his preaching plan and visitation. Many years ago, I read the journals. Later on, I recommended them to Methodist ministers in training. Some sermons are required reading for becoming a candidate for ministry. In today's terms, that's a pastor in training. Knowing what the required sermons mean is essential for Methodist theology. When I was a candidate for ministry, I was asked the standard questions. One included, do you assent to Wesley's sermons and notes on the New Testament. I recall stating that I thought some of it was very good, but by and large, scholarship had moved on. There was a hiss of indrawn breath from some of the examiners. I was left outside for a good long while. Had I made the grade? I walked around a bit. Eventually I was called back in, but with a warning to answer further questions, but more circumspectly. I was fairly sure at the time that some in the room hadn't read the notes or the sermons. Church is like that. Reading the journals would have been a very beneficial experience all round. You can learn much practical theology and wisdom there. You can dive in anywhere, but don't worry. Just like Peter in our story, you won't sink. It's been a great day for a walk and a coach ride with John Wesley. From Tamaki Makaurau to St. Ives. I have a feeling Wesley's idea of how to live the gospel is as full of adventure today as when he first started out. In fact, I know it. It's a journey waiting for you to walk into. Your adventure, no matter your age and stage. Subscribe now for the Practical Theology channel to get notifications of new videos. And if you want to learn more, visit sixsenses.nz. Thanks for watching. See you again next week.